Lying is one of the main traits of Putin's character. So that's why when we hear any of his statements, we should assume they're false, misleading, until he proves otherwise. All these talks about de-escalation in Kiev and Chernihiv area, it's a cover-up for regrouping. For Putin, ceasefire means reload.
All right, the chess grandmaster is saying right now that Vladimir Putin simply can't be trusted, and you don't need to be a grandmaster to figure that out, or that his military strategy isn't chess, it isn't checkers, it isn't anything close to smart, but it is dangerous. Lieutenant Colonel Bob Maginnis right now, Alliance of Evil author, much, much more. Colonel, what he is saying essentially is that, you know, he's running amok, he can't be trusted, but he must be stopped. That kind of sums up where you are on this, but where are we on that?
Well, it's true. We can't trust him. And we just have to, as President Biden said, look at his actions. And, you know, here's what's going on behind the scenes, Neil. He is sending repair and restoration equipment to the front. He's taking equipment out of storage. Of course, a lot of it doesn't work, that pre-positioned equipment. He's told his draft boards to, you know, plan to send all those people to the front, to Ukraine. He has recruited people out of Damascus, some of which are Hezbollah, and some have already arrived in Belarus and probably will shortly be deployed into Ukraine. So behind the scenes, there's mobilization going on, equipment, you know, reconfiguring of units. He's taken a slacking, really, in terms of the poor performance by his soldiers. He's lost a lot of his battalion, brigade, and even some Army division commanders. And so when you look at it in a big picture, I can understand he wants to stand down temporarily to refit and to then redeploy for what will likely be a very different type of war going forward.
I'm wondering what you make of these intelligence reports that Putin is clueless to what's really going on, or that a lot of this is being hidden from him. Well, it's pretty plain to see now that the problems are growing by the day. What's happening with him?
Well, you know, of course, his background is KGB, and he is a tough character to deal with. Yeah, he's been obsessing, Neil, for the last 6 years about doing precisely what he's doing now. After the 2014 takedown of Crimea, the annexation, and the striking of the insurgency in Donbass area, he said, look, I want, and he's made this very public, I want to reconfigure, to bring back into the fold what he called New Russia. Now that dates back to Catherine II in the 18th century, which included all that land from Moldova all the way to Russia, you know, all belonged to the Russian Empire. And so he has been saying this for years. And he also has been saying anybody that disagrees with him is a fascist and a Nazi. And so, you know, this is not something new for him. He's very unpredictable. He's going to, you know, press his generals. He's going to arrest people in his own household that don't collaborate and cooperate with him. And he's really focused on redoing the things that he's been announcing for years and years.
Colonel, real quickly, Jerry Boykin, a retired general, was with me earlier saying he thinks the Russian people, the Russian oligarchs, are going to start turning on Putin, that he's going to be overthrown because this is beginning with everything going on in the economy and the sanctions and the pain, that it's already happening. Do you agree with that?
Well, we certainly want that to happen. You know, the issue is the information operations. The Ukrainians have been incredibly successful against the Russians, and they've used social media, they've used other alternative sources to influence not only the Russian-speaking world, but of course here in the West. And so I do believe that there is a growing instability within the Russian Federation itself because of the Ukrainian information operations, which are being very effective. And I will assure you when the mothers that have all those young conscript soldiers that have been killed or taken captive by the Ukrainians begin to find out the reality of what this man has done to their sons and in a few cases their daughters, there will be a general uprising against Mr. Putin, but he'll push back.
Colonel, we'll see. We just don't know. Lieutenant Colonel Bob Maginnis, the book is Alliance of Evil. He was seeing a lot of these patterns before most.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.